BassResinator here. I have my new giant dragon mold. Came from Pouring Your Heart Out, the Amazon store. This is my second mold. The first one, I'll show you, had a couple holes right here, and this one came in, and it also had holes, but I didn't want to wait any longer, so I put some of my own silicone over the top on those weak areas. And there was also an area on this ear and an area down here on the end of this wing. But I think I got it taken care of now. I did let the designer of the mold know about this so that she could check with the people putting it together for her to make sure that they're following good protocols. Okay, I am going to be making a fall colored dragon, replete with these dragon eyes. Look at that. Oh man. I will put those in with UV resin. Then I have autumn leaves, little tiny metallic glitter, very holographic in nature, but they're fall colored, and I'm going to put those, I'm going to try to get those in this little, the line in the middle of his back going down to part of his tail. So I'm going to try and get them there, and maybe even let them spill out a little bit onto the sides, if they'll stay. And then I have some of these little metal leaves. They're gold, bronze, and silver, and I'm going to lay those in the feathery part of his, or leathery part of his wings. And then I have some, what are these things called? Flakes of, gee whiz. Maybe I'll have to edit this part out. Chameleon flakes. There we go. From Let's Resin. This is green orange, and I'm going to do mix that as well as pink gold and this green, which also goes to a purple when the chameleon effect on it. And I'm going to be putting that in the legs and feet and possibly the tail. But then I have a couple other, well, let me go with this one first. I have this Shinto shrine chameleon type powder. It's a color shifting, so chameleon, and I'm going to do it in his head area. This copper metallic powder, I'm going to do his horns, and this bronze, I'm going to do part of his tail as well. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of different coloring going on. I'm going to start with the eyes, and if you've ever seen anything that I have done, you know that I like being biologically correct, and that means I will put the direction of this iris or pupil, the opening, the black part. Since this is a reptile, they need to be vertical, so the eyes need to go up and down. Amphibians and octopi have them horizontal. So I'm going to use this marker and right on, the lids fall off, right on the back, so that I'll know, you know what, I also want orange on one side. So this is the orange side. The other side is yellow. So there we have it. And then this one, orange side. And there we have that one. Okay. Let me try and figure out where did it go. Trying to figure out which direction we want up. And then I'm going to have to use my Let's Resin UV flashlight. I think I'm going to have the orange part up, which is actually going to be down because I'm looking at the dragon upside down. So I will put this eye over here. Get out my Let's Resin UV resin for bonding. I find that this does better for me than just regular UV resin.
I put this in faster motion so that we wouldn't be bored stiff as what is happening with those eyes going into place with that UV resin. They're getting stiffened up right now. I don't know what's the deal with the white balance right here on my camera, but yeah, we are going to deal with it. Get both eyes installed and cured in place from this side, and then I'm going to turn it over and do the flashlight thing from the other side to make, or the UV flashlight, to make sure that it stays in place. I do not want the eyes to fall out and ruin this big piece, because there's going to be a lot of resin going in here. Here I'm turning it over, and I don't want to have it messed up by having an eyeball out of place. So curing this, I'm actually going about 35-40 seconds on each eye from the outside, so that they will definitely be stuck in place.
Okay, hopefully that will hold them in place. They're staying so far. And I can't see that way, so I'm going to do it, turn it around this way. I don't know what that is, but there's little black specks. Okay, a little bit of extra silicone right there on that mold. I'll pull that off. Don't want it interfering with this project. No, no, no. Okay, I said I'm going to go bronze on his. There's some flaps behind his eyes. And this stuff is really, will go a mile. It's very, 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 very very thick and rich and chocolate. So I'm going to get out a smaller brush than I have over there. First time I've used these. This has got some serious detail in here in these ear flap things. And this powder definitely is metallic. I mean, it looks like, I don't know if you've seen those paint chrome markers that really, really almost look like you're putting glowing metal on stuff. That's what these look like when you unmold them. Okay, so I got that ear flap done. Wow. And this one goes down in deeper. Not only is it deeper, it looks bigger. Okay. Now, oh, I missed some of this one. That's why it looks smaller. Wasn't smaller at all, I just missed it. But what I did, oh boy, there's a section down in there, the inside. There, got 'em. Okay, now I gotta get this, I was gonna say diaper rash. Baby wipe, not diaper rash. Oh man. And clean up some of that, where that powder just took off. It wasn't holding onto the brush real well. Don't want stray powder changing the color of what I have in mind. Okay, now I'm not going to use the same brush for a different color. Because I want to paint his horns. This almost looks like a gold. Okay, get this again because I got some getting squirrely there. Going, well, I don't want it. Okay. Like I said, this metallic powder is super duper potent. And I don't know if you can see in there very well, but yeah, it looks like metal. Okay, now his head. Wait a minute. He's got some nostrils. I wonder if I can get... Oh boy, some of that powder went up by his eye. I don't want to go messing with that eye too much, so I may end up just leaving him with a eye shadow. You know, I have a very thin brush over here. The coppery nose. Actually, I'm looking inside this at a different angle now. And I could take that copper all the way up to the nose. Let me get those nostril bits. There's one. Okay. There's that. And that's down on the floor. Okay, now I said take this all the way up. Gotta go around that eye without bumping it. I may have to touch it up after I get it out, after I cure it. I think I'm off the screen. Sorry about that.
In hyperspeed mode again. There's no reason for me just to sit there and mumble on and on as I'm inserting this Shinto Temple from Eye Candy. It's a color shifting, basically a chameleon powder, but it adds a tint of purple, and it'll go to brown in different angles. So I think it matches really well with the copper and bronze that I used in there. And I am spilling a little bit on the edges. I will clean that up after a bit. And I'm taking this Shinto Temple color to the front legs. And then I realized, oh, there's a little bit under that eye that I did not see. I want to make sure I get every bit of it. And then I'm off the screen. Sorry about that, but doing my best to try and keep everything in visible frame without knocking over everything. Yeah, this color is really, 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 really pretty. This is when I decided to start using flakes. And I have not the most fun with flakes. I know the color that they give, but when I first ordered them, I thought I was getting powder, and it ended up being flakes. I'm trying to do a little bit of alcohol to hold them in place. That wasn't working because it doesn't help me burnish that into the silicone. So I decided, no, I'm just go back to burnishing them in place. But this, I don't know, man. I understand the color, and the color is something that I really wanted when I looked at the product description. But this seems like an awful lot more work than just using powders. Now, if there's a way to take those flakes and grind them up into powders, please, somebody help me there, because I want those colors that I've got, but I don't like having to sit there and burnish them. Now, I know some people really love using flakes. I'm not there. Sorry. And I have flakes from Let's Resin. I have flakes from some companies in Etsy. And I've got some flakes that came from, I believe, AliExpress. Now I'm putting down a little bit of UV resin. This is not the kind for bonding. This is just regular UV. And I'm using glitter that is called Autumn Leaves or Fall Leaves. And they're really pretty. They're holographic. Right now, right there, I'm taking out little bubbles. But these little tiny leaves look like maple leaves, or they're shaped like maple leaves, but they're gold, they're bronze color, and they're red, and they're really cool. And I don't know how much they're going to show up on the finished product, but they look really good going in. So, and then getting them to stay. I don't know what it is with glitter. It just likes flying. And then a couple pieces were just getting out of hand, so I took them out of the piece completely.
Don't know why ain't nothing good. Mm-hmm. Tell me why. I want it that way. Okay. I'm going to push pause. I'm going to stop it just for a little bit, and I'll be right back. Okay, now put some of these guys. Don't know exactly how these are going to stay in place unless I put a dab of UV resin. Acts like glue. If I can get the thermal out and do that on the other side, same colors. Gold, I have 3 gold. There's 2. There's 3. I got 2 silver. I got 2 silver out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bronze. I need 2 more. One more. Okay. Starting up front. Gold. These gold leaves are saying, "Leave me alone." Why don't you leave me alone? They're kind of sticking in place. But as soon as I start going over with mica powders and stuff, I know they're going to move, so that's why I want to stick them down with UV resin. Okay, since you want to be stubborn then, you go there. Okay, now I'm just going to put a little dab of UV resin every once in a while. So we'll go through 2, silicone so that when I cure it, it'll stay in place. Some of these guys are floating around too, so if I go over the top of them, you know what, I can actually bring out, I rescued my things, so while that's over there, I'll do these here.
Got the leaves with one wing done with the UV flashlight and the other wing with the lamp, the nail lamp, which was what I mentioned in there, the thing that I rescued because it had fallen off the back of the table where I was working. Got it taken care of. Everything's glow, and then I decided to go ahead and give it another shot of radiation right there on the other wing.
Okay, that's over there now, and I've got maple, extreme chameleon, I've got fairy green, that's going to be the tail, dark magenta, no, not dark magenta, that's not what I want. Maple, fairy green, well, let me start with what I know I wanted to do, and that's going to be the green, fairy green tail.
Okay, I love chameleon powder so much more than flakes. Oh man, good grief, it goes in so much easier. And I don't know, maybe my patience is waning as I'm getting older. I thought I was getting better with my patience, but I don't know, those flakes and I just, And
this maple is a luscious color. Wait till you see him. Definitely autumn color here. Sort of blend those right there.
that intense chameleon maple color is really pretty, and I think it's given this dragon an amazing look. Hope you agree. Let me know in the comments.
So the legs are going to be gold. Oh, I haven't opened this one. Look at that. Well, come on now. This is wrapped on with a piece of tape over the top. There, don't lose. because it's taped, there's a whole bunch of that powder that's stuck on it, on that top. So I can still use it as well. Oh, a whole bunch of it went right there.
All of these intense chameleon powders are so cool. I remember the first time I saw somebody using it in a video, and I said, and they didn't mention what it was, and I said, what is that color? It's so intense. And he goes, amazing you say that, because it's an intense chameleon. This is the gold, and wow, the gold right next to that maple. Really, really cool. And I think you'll agree that I made the right choice on colors for this dragon. Yeah, Fafner is his name.
There's another color in this batch called Dark Cherry. That is a luscious color. Actually, all of these, I really like them. But that's what I'm going to use on the wings.
Okay, I've said this about all of the intense chameleons. I really like this dark cherry. I like cherries, but this color, wow, amazing.
Oh, okay, not as late as I thought. I heard that clock going off in the living room, and I thought, oh no, it's past midnight, I'm going to turn into a pumpkin. Which would be fine if I'm going with the fall theme, right? This video is going to be entered in as into the collaboration with, I don't remember exactly the name of that Discord group, crafty people over on Discord. Crafty people. And Mini Scenes GB. Tracy is putting this on. And this is going to be my entry.
This black cherry is laying down really nicely. And I think the three, the maple, the gold, and that black cherry go together. Maybe that's why they're in the same set that Let's Resin sells, but man. And then over the top of those leaves, I hope those leaves can still be visible when I take it, when I unmold it after all of the resin is poured in. But the really, really cool colors right here. If this isn't fall, I don't know what is.
Okay, am I done? Am I done with all the coloring? The eyes are still in place. Yay, the eyes have it. Okay, now to mix up some resin after I clean. Okay, I'll clean on my own. Mixed up my resin. I used Counterculture DIY Hardcast, which is good for up to 2 inches. And I used this Promarine Bronze Metal. Wait till you see. And I started pouring and I thought, I haven't shown what I'm doing. So I poured a little bit and I squeezed in his horns area. I keep checking to make sure the eyes are intact, and they are there. This is really pretty resin. It's on the darker side, so it should cause those chameleon powders to pop. Not quite as much maybe as a black, but I think it's going to be really pretty as it is. Besides, this is more of a fall color than black. I mixed up 500 milliliters, which is, just a second, 16 ounces. This mold is supposed to hold like 20. So I'll pour in this much and then I'll let it cure overnight. Specifically wanted to make sure those eyes got covered up so that they can cure in place.
Looks like molten metal. Wow.
Just going right around the corner. Right around the corner where you are. Right around the corner where you are. We used to sing that all the time, our family.
Gonna start popping some bubbles here. Don't know if they're mica powder puffs or if it's just bubbles coming from down under, but we'll see when it's all done.
And so these might be little mica pockets. Sort of like, I don't know, if they ever made biscuits and didn't quite mix in all that flour or that biscuit dough mix. And then you take a bite and you're like, oh, that's just a fluff. So try and get it mixed up as well as you can. And if they're just little tiny things, I'm not going to do anything. If there's big pockets of them, then you might have some weird discolorations. But other than that, you should be pretty good. Okay, time to let that cure up. I'll keep this bronze metal mica powder out so that when I do the last little bit, I'll be able to do that, because it should take about 4.5 more ounces. I'll probably mix up 5 just to be on the safe side. But you don't need to see me do all of that. You know what I'm going to do. I'll see you for the unmolding. Yeah.
I have no idea where the audio went, but this is all cured up, and this mold, it unmolds relatively easy, but there are so many areas. So I'm going around the edge trying to get it loosened up. That tail is a little wonky, trying to get it out. But the areas where it's deeper, like right here in the head, it was sticking a little bit, but not sticking because it was glued on in place or anything, but it's just that the depth of the mold made it really difficult to get out. Now, I turned it over to try. I remember seeing Julie Cutts, who developed this mold, turn hers over to try and get it. So I thought, well, maybe I'll do the same. And it did make it easier, but it's still a little. This is not for a novice to unmold. Let's just put it that way. And I did find that where I had stuck those UV resined those leaves down, had not cured enough, and so it was a little tacky when I unmolded. So I will go over it again with the UV lamp and the UV flashlight. But and when I start giving a little bit of reveal, it's like, oh yeah, there's some color. Wait till I get it under some better lights. Now, I still had a couple places where the resin didn't get all the way to the mold. I guess I put a little bit too much colorant in place, but nothing to where there was a big old air bubble or anything. But like there on those feet where I burnished that, and those little leaves right here in the middle are, you can't really tell they're leaves, but the color is there. Now, on further inspection, you can actually see their leaves. Now you see, this is where I was curing that UV resin a little bit. It was just a touch tacky. I just wanted to make sure, because that mold is a little thick, and it needs to be, because it's a heavy duty mold. But still, I needed to make sure it wasn't tacky anywhere else. Look at that. Look at those eyes. Oh man, I think I chose the right color of eyes for this beast. And that's a wrap on that. Almost. There's a little bit of overage. I need to cut that out. Yep. So I'll get that taken care of. And then when the sun comes up, because I'm unmolding this at 1 a.m. Okay. Yeah. When I take it outside, you are going to be hopefully surprised by the colors. Now, right here, I wanted to just get a taste for how heavy it was. I got the scales out, and it is 24 ounces. So, quite a bit of resin going in there. Yeah, this, when I get it outside, you'll be able to see those chameleon colors really come to life. This is a fall colored dragon. You can tell where I was going over with the where the colors were melded together, going from that green into the maple. That tail is still really bendy, and the wings are a little bit bendy, so giving it till morning is a good thing. But then taking it outside, oh my, really, really, really gonna show off the chameleon powder and flakes. Depending on which way you look at this guy, he'll change colors. Nice sunny time to have him outside here. See that color change? Color shift? That's wild. Look at those eyes. Tip of his tail. Yep, and that back, it's all covered with those little holographic type leaves. And then the leaves in his wings. Falling away. Yep. Thank you to my subscribers and those who follow along. Check out the other collaborators in this fall collaboration. They should have some fun stuff to watch as well. Okay, BassResinator signing out.